Hi, it's me, Dr. Korax, coming to you with the sixth, I think, edition of Rhetoric City. And we're streaming, no, well, actually, this is a recording, from Rhetoric City, where the truth does not speak for itself. Today's figure is Orcos, swearing that a statement is true. I swear this statement is true, I swear. That could be an example, but I've got something better. I have a story. Now that I was 80, these were my go-to excuses. I swear I forgot. I forget. I swear I forgot. I forget. It didn't matter what the expectation was that I failed to fulfill or the question that was asked, from turning off the lights to zipping up my fly after I peed to missing an appointment. But then, in the murky depths of my fumbling mind, I realized I could use I forget or I forgot for every failed expectation, or bottom line, for every question I was asked. They would become my chief ruse. When my son chided me for losing his car keys, I told him, I forget where I put them. He looked at me with pity in his eyes and said, It's all right, Dad. At your age, you can't remember everything. What he doesn't know is I've got the keys in my pocket, and I'll be headed to Wild Bunnies after he goes to bed to watch a little pole dancing and have a lap dance. The keys will mysteriously reappear under a couch cushion tomorrow. The age ruse. It works every time. It can be applied to myriad expectations, inducing guilt or relieving one of responsibilities. And by the way, if it doesn't apply, you can cry, elder abuse, and win a lawsuit. That's what I did to the 35-year-old kid who said, Get out of my way, geezer, when I was having trouble getting on the bus. I sued him for defamation and won $1,000. When you're old, the law considers any insult referencing your age as defamation. So watch out. Then there was the time my son and his family went on vacation and I was left home alone. I saw this as an excellent opportunity to get rid of Hammy, my grandson's hamster. I got tired months ago of him escaping from his cage and crapping on my bed. I got tired of brushing the little poops onto the floor. I was trying to figure out how I could escape the blame for Hammy's departure. Then it hit me. I could starve him. So I stopped feeding him. The family came home 4 days later and he was lethargic, close to death. My son asked me, Did you feed Hammy? I said, Oh my God, I forgot, no lie, oh God. My son looked at me with pity in his eyes and said, It's all right, Dad. At your age, you can't remember everything. My ruse worked. It always worked. The big one was when I got tired of living on Elm Street. I wanted a bigger house with a swimming pool. So I burned the house down. Yep, burned it down. They were gone for the weekend. I told my son I needed to burn a scented candle in my room to cover the odor of my increasingly smelly farts. I forgot to blow out the candle, and it started a fire on my desk, which was covered by sheets of paper. I was working on my memoirs. When I told my son what had happened, my son looked at me with pity in his eyes and said, It's all right, Dad. At your age, you can't remember everything. I think he actually took the blame. Now we're living in a bigger house with the therapeutic swimming pool I requested. Ruse accomplished. So if you're 80 or older, make I forgot or I forget your go-to excuses and sue the hell out of anybody who perpetrates elder abuse on you, on your poor old bent over white-haired self. Well, that's it. That was a kind of a semi-okay reading. These are not my glasses. I lost my real reading glasses. I'm going to CVS today and buy some of those cheapo reading glasses off the rack. So I'll be even better tomorrow. I don't know what the figure's going to be, but it's going to be interesting, I hope. So remember, if you want to see these things in print, you can go to www.dailytrope.com, and there's thousands of examples and probably 200 different schemes and tropes. And remember this too, I think I mentioned it a while ago, that you too can look at these tropes and write short little blurby examples that help you understand better what the rhetorical significance of the trope is, but also improve your creative writing skills. So remember, in Rhetoric City, the truth does not speak for itself. I'll see you tomorrow with another chapter of the Daily Trope.